Hi, and welcome to Our Small Table. Today we're making steak strips with dumplings, a slow cooker dish that has a little bit of skillet preparation. Here's our finished product. Let's see how we got here. We're actually at the stove at the moment, where I've had to do the meat in batches so that it won't overcrowd the pan but will still fit on the camera. I'm not trying to cook it through. It just needed to be browned because the slow cooker will not get any caramelization on the meat. And because it's so loud as it cooks, I'm going to just finish getting these seared off, and then we'll move back over to the usual counter and we'll continue. And here we are back at our usual spot at the counter. The beef has been drained and moved into our slow cooker. This is 1.5 quart slow cooker. It's really the only one I use for entrees, just for the two of us. Mixing together our condensed cream of chicken soup and beef broth. The rest of the cream of chicken soup can be used if you pour it over some chicken breasts and bake it. There's a couple of different things you can use it for. I believe I have maybe 1 or 2 recipes in the using up ingredients section of the website. And we've already sliced and diced up our veggies. I got the smallest onion that was available in the market, but it was still far more onion than I was going to need, which I knew. So as I always do when I have a little extra onion, I went ahead and diced up the rest of it, put it in a zip top bag. That'll go into the freezer, and if I need to saute onion at any point for another recipe, I'll have some in the freezer. It's not good for this sort of use because this won't brown off the frozen the way that the sauteing will, but it's good for other purposes. So we're just going to go ahead, add all of our veggies on top of the steak. Lots and lots of mushrooms here. Pour the liquid over. Give that a stir so that liquid gets all the way down to the steak at the bottom. And a little bit of broth still in the bowl here. And we are quite simply going to cover that, set it to low, and we will leave it alone for about the next 4 hours. In about 4 hours, I'll be back to show you the next step. Okay, it's been 4 hours. It's been cooking on low all this time. Now we're going to add the dumplings. First, we're going to combine our flour with baking powder and salt. Then stir in the beaten egg. And the milk just until blended. We don't want to overmix. My preference for slow cooker dishes is things that I can just kind of dump everything in and be done with it, and also things that can cook for a really long time, because that way I can start at the beginning of the day and do my thing for the day and then be ready at dinner time. It was also what I really liked when I was working full-time, that I could just start it in the morning, go to work, and come back at the end of the day and have dinner ready. But something like this is good for maybe a weekend when you've got stuff to do in the afternoon, maybe work in the garden, or bills to pay and checkbook to balance, whatever. And you can be at the house to do these last few steps, but you don't want to have to pay too much attention to it. So there's our dumpling dough, and this is going to be one of the few times that we're going to disturb a slow cooker while it's cooking, because we're going to drop this dumpling mixture on top of the meat mixture, just in spoonfuls. You want to do it fairly quickly because you lose a lot of heat by taking the lid off, and since it's not at a very high heat in there, it takes some time for it to come back up to the heat that you have lost. Separate those a little bit there. And then we're going to sprinkle these with some dried parsley. And put the lid back on, and this has 1 more hour to cook. And then we'll be back to see how it looks. And there it is. The one thing I forgot to mention when I added the dumpling dough is that final hour of cooking with the dumplings on top is at high, so you do need to turn it up. Thanks for joining me on Our Small Table. The recipes we've used today is linked in the video description and is also available just by going to OurSmallTable.com. Next time I'll be demonstrating pork with curried apple and couscous. Click subscribe so you don't miss out.